Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 577 based on novel. So let's start. The voice appeared very suddenly, as if it had merged with the sea and then come out. As the words echoed, the surrounding sea began to move. Wang Lin slowly walked out of the sea. He was very calm and his white robe wasn't stained by the sea at all. His white hair was hanging over his shoulder and wasn't moved by the sea. He looked at the two green devil continent cultivators before White Tiger coldly. Wang Lin. White Tiger was startled. The vermilion bird and the black tortoise were also dumbfounded. They would have never expected to meet Wang Lin here. Wang Lin nodded at the three of them and his gaze swept toward the two cultivators from the Green Devil continent. The cultivator named Qian was filled with killing intent. He didn't think Wang Lin was a threat as Wang Lin's cultivation level was only peak spirit void. It was not enough to be a threat, he only had to worry about Wang Lin's ability to hide. This person must be good at hiding, otherwise, he couldn't have appeared here without me noticing. The cultivator named Qian sneered. Not only did he not stop, but he flew even faster toward Wang Lin. Since you all know each other, then all of you should stay. You can accompany each other on the road to the afterlife. In contrast to the cultivator named Qian was the young man with the white jade-like face. When he saw Wang Lin appear, his pupils shrank and he stopped. Instead of charging forward, he rapidly retreated. This person looks ordinary, but there is an invisible sense of blood around him. He has clearly killed many inside the Pill Sea. The youth with the white jade-like face cultivated a method that made him sensitive to blood. The moment Wang Lin appeared, he felt a sense of blood that was strong enough to suffocate him, though no one else could feel it. As he retreated, he raised his right hand and covered his right eye, leaving only his left eye open. His left eye's pupil rotated strangely and he suddenly saw thousands of resentful souls around Wang Lin. These were all Green Devil continent cultivators killed by Wang Lin. When he saw this, the youth with the white jade-like face trembled and retreated at full speed without warning his companion. A stark contrast formed between him and the cultivator named Qian as one retreated while the other charged forward. Courting death. Wang Lin sneered. As the cultivator named Qian closed in, Wang Lin waved his hand and black fog spread out. A roar rang out and the Yisai puppet appeared. Its scarlet tongue came out of the fog and it revealed a cruel smile as it pounced at the cultivator named Qian. This cultivator's cultivation was extraordinary, but compared to the Yisai puppet, it was like the difference between heaven and earth. The moment Yisai appeared, the eyes of the cultivator named Qian widened. He was covered in sweat and a life and death crisis filled his body. At this moment, his body distorted and he changed directions without hesitation to escape. Damn it, how could he have such a powerful puppet? What is his identity? To actually have an early-stage void turbulent puppet. The cultivator named Qian was filled with fear, but his speed could not compare to the Yisai puppets. As he retreated, the puppet caught up and he was surrounded by black fog. Thunderous rumbles echoed inside the fog along with bursts of blood. As for the youth that had escaped first, he was filled with fear and quickly extended the distance between himself and Wang Lin. He was about to fuse with the restriction and teleport away. Wang Lin remained calm and looked at the Green Devil continent cultivator that was going to leave. His right hand reached out at the void and this caused currents to appear. The water formed a giant hand that reached toward the youth whose face was like white jade. With a thunderous rumble, the youth opened the fan in his hand. On the front side of the fan, there was a painting of 10,000 horses galloping. The moment his fan opened, the sound of horses suddenly appeared. At the same time, an illusion of 10,000 horses galloping appeared behind him. The sea trembled as the illusory horses charged out and collided with the arm Wang Lin had formed from the sea. Thunderous rumbles echoed across the Pill Sea and a giant vortex appeared. The vortex rotated and caused the sea to rapidly rotate with it. As the thunderous rumbles echoed, the arm dissipated along with the 10,000 horses. As for the youth, he merged with the restriction and disappeared. On the other side of the Pill Sea, Near the Green Devil continent, where the three big flags were, the youth appeared next to the woman holding the compass. The moment he appeared, he coughed out blood. His face was filled with terror and his eyes still held lingering fear. He wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and said, "There was an accident. It is likely that Brother Qian is dead." When did the Heavenly Bull continent have such a cultivator? His name is Wang Lin. I need to report this to teacher at once. The woman beside him was still staring at the compass in her hand. Her eyes were locked onto the white dot that represented Wang Lin. After a long time, there was a flash of killing intent in the woman's eyes and she softly said, "He is inside the formation, so he can't escape. And I have already reported this matter to the sect. The three ancestors have sent Senior Brother Void Cloud here. Once Senior Brother Void Cloud comes, the army of the three sects will also arrive. We just need Senior Brother to refine the pill C into the half-celestial pill and blow up the barrier around the Heavenly Bull continent. Everything will be over then. Senior Brother Void Cloud." The eyes of the youth with the white jade-like face was filled with respect when he heard the name. Void Cloud was very famous in the Green Devil continent and even across the Eastern continent. Void Cloud, one of the four geniuses of the Eastern continent. He didn't have a fixed sect and all three major sects of the Green Devil continent were his sects. He could go to any sect and learn their spells. He was the senior brother of all disciples of the Green Devil continent. It is said that Senior Brother Void Cloud went to the Northern continent and joined Grand Empyrean Wufeng sect to learn Tao. Now his cultivation is unfathomable. With him, here that Wang Lin will without a doubt die. The youth with the white jade-like face was excited. As for Wang Lin, the cultivator named Qian was not Yi Sai's match at all. The battle ended with a cry and his body collapsed. Yi Sai devoured the body, but the origin soul remained due to Wang Lin's order. Wang Lin began searching the origin soul of the cultivator named Qian before White Tiger and company. After he finished searching, he released the origin soul. The Yi Sai puppet's tongue lashed out at the origin soul, but Wang Lin sealed it and put it away first. Yi Sai was startled and stared at Wang Lin with a fierce gaze. "I still have a use for this person." Wang Lin looked at Yi Sai with a calm gaze that contained monstrous killing intent. The Yi Sai's roars slowly weakened under Wang Lin's gaze. It lowered its head and no longer roared. When Wang Lin's cultivation level increased, his imprint on Yi Sai became more profound. Unless it was pushed to the limit, it wouldn't resist Wang Lin's orders. "Three old friends, we hadn't met in many years. I didn't expect to meet you all here." Wang Lin turned around to look at White Tiger and company, who had complicated expressions. He clasped his hands and smiled. White Tiger and company were emotional and felt embarrassed. "Wang Lin, since the Green Devil continent has acted, they will move like lightning. At this moment, I fear most Heavenly Bull continent cultivators have been killed. How will we leave?" The black tortoise looked at Wang Lin and let out a sigh. The vermilion bird pondered a bit before he said, "This is the first time the Green Devil continent has tried to enter the Heavenly Bull continent on a large scale. However, they were stopped by the barriers set by the ancestors of the Great Soul sect and the Gui Yi sect. However, they started by killing all Heavenly Bull rogue cultivators in the Pill C, so their objective must be great. The changes here are being masked by the Green Devil continent so the Great Soul sect and Gui Yi sect don't find out what is happening. As people of the Heavenly Bull continent, we need to leave and send a message to them." White Tiger said in a deep voice. "This is not the time to talk, let's leave first." Wang Lin waved his sleeve and many currents appeared. The currents carried them forward. They quickly moved forward and encountered cultivators of the Green Devil continent several times. Each time they met, Wang Lin immediately used ethereal fire to kill them in a flash. However, as they moved forward, less and less Green Devil continent cultivators appeared. In the end, there were none, as if they disappeared. Something isn't right, Wang Lin's eyes narrowed. He was already not far from the Heavenly Bull continent, they were near the edge. As they moved forward, the sea floor began to rise and the four of them flew out from the sea. The sky was dark, there was no moon tonight. The dark world made the sea a blur. Only the gusts of wind caused waves to surge and rumble. One could faintly smell blood hidden in the waves. Breaking out from the sea, the four of them floated into the sky. Aside from the sound of the sea, everything was silent. White Tiger and company also noticed that something was wrong. They looked around and their eyes lit up. They were surrounded by darkness and they could only see a faint outline of the heavenly bull continent. The three of you, protect me. I'm going to see how powerful this restriction is. Wang Lin focused himself. After pondering a bit, he pressed his right hand on the sea below. With this, the sea remained the same, but he left a sliver of his divine sense in the sea. This sliver of divine sense might seem useless now, but in the future, it would play a big role. That divine sense had fused with the sea, and it was very difficult to detect. Having done this, Wang Lin's eyes became filled with blood lines. Soon, his eyes looked terrifying. Using his eyes, which contained his restriction essence, he looked at the sky and his expression changed. The dark sky was covered by thin layers of fog. This fog couldn't be seen by the eye, not even divine sense could see it clearly. Only by using his restriction essence could he clearly see all of this. 1 layer. 3 layers. 7 layers. The fog in the sky was thin but had a full 7 layers. The 7 layers of fog surrounded the entire Pill Sea. It was like a bowl that was flipped upside down and covered the Pill Sea. Above the 7th layer, there was a compass. It was an illusion that slowly rotated and gave off a pressure that fused with the 7 layers of fog. This compass is an illusion, not real. Wang Lin looked up and faintly saw that the compass above the 7 layers had a strand of aura that connected to the other side of the Pill Sea. The center of this formation must have turned solid and is over there, Wang Lin pondered as he looked toward the Pill Sea and thought of something. If he wanted his restriction essence to form an essence true body, he would need to absorb a large amount of restrictions. He had never seen the restriction that covered the Pill Sea, and he was tempted to absorb it. However, he soon suppressed this temptation. He waved his right hand and 2 giant eyes appeared behind him. The eyes were filled with blood lines and seemed to wash away the darkness a bit. The moment the 2 giant eyes filled with blood lines appeared, Wang Lin sat down and looked up at the sky. His eyes shined as he began to deduce the restriction. He had to break it as fast as possible. When he began to deduce, the 2 giant eyes also gave off the light of deduction. He stared at the sky as he looked for ways of breaking through the 7 layers of fog. More and more bloodlines appeared in Wang Lin's eyes and the 2 giant eyes behind him were the same. Time slowly passed. In a flash, half an hour passed. White Tiger and company were solemn as he carefully looked around to protect Wang Lin. Whether they can leave would depend if Wang Lin can break this formation. After another half an instant stick of time passed, Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he pointed at the sky 3 times. Every time he pointed, a line of blood would fly out from the 2 giant eyes behind him. Outsiders couldn't see it, but from Wang Lin's view, each line flew into the areas in the first layer where the fog was thin. The 3 lines connected together to form a circle. This circle was a small hole in the first layer of fog where there was no fog. Although it was a small hole, it was enough for 1 person to pass through. 7 layers of fog, and every layer is moving. It will be difficult to break through this restriction, Wang Lin pondered as he looked at the sky. Both his hands moved and he flicked 9 times at the sky. Each time, a red line would fly out. These 9 lines penetrated the hole he had made in the first layer and 4 went into the second layer. They soon found a similar area where the fog was thin, then they connected to form a circle. At the same time, the remaining 5 lines penetrated the second layer and used the same method to form a circle in the third layer. Wang Lin had found a method to break through the first 3 layers. White Tiger and company could not see this, and the 3 of them were very serious. They looked at Wang Lin anxiously. After all, a lot of time had passed. Even now, no cultivator from the Green Devil sect had appeared. It was very strange, and it was like the calm before the storm. This gave them a depressing feeling. Wang Lin remained calm and his mind was focused on the 7-layer restrictions. The further he went, the more profound he found the restriction to be. After the first 3 layers, those areas of thin fog were difficult to find. But Wang Lin had the restriction essence, so he wasn't just relying on deduction but also on his essence gaze. In his eyes, all restrictions in the world seemed to stop. After another half a minute and after breaking through the first 3 layers, Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he flicked 17 times. 17 bloodlines flew out and penetrated the first 3 layers. In the 4th layer, 6 lines formed a small circle where the fog was thin. The remaining fine lines in the 5th layer and formed a circle. Now a circle to get through the fog had appeared in the first 5 layers. But just at this moment, the pill sea rumbled. The sound was heaven-shaking, and the sea seemed to be split in half with a line rapidly moving down the middle. This was too sudden. This caused the expressions of White Tiger and company to change greatly. At this moment, Wang Lin's pupils shrank and he didn't hesitate to stand up. The giant eyes behind him disappeared and he waved his sleeves. He took White Tiger and company and charged into the sky. Just as Wang Lin took White Tiger and company into the sky, an indescribably terrifying sword energy came from the thin line that divided the sea in half. What kind of thin line was this? It was clearly a cut from a sword. This sword swing was able to cut the sea in half until it reached the bottom. Its power was shocking. The sea rumbled. The moment the sword shadows appeared from the sea rumbled and was completely split in half. A thunderous rumble echoed, and one could clearly see the dark sea floor below. This sword shadow was hundreds of feet long. It flew out from the sea and charged toward Wang Lin and company. Feeling this sword energy, White Tiger and company's faces turned pale. Vermilion Bird and Black Tortoise were seriously injured, so they coughed out blood and their eyes were filled with fear. This is the sword Tao. To not cultivate the domain of the world and only cultivate the sword. To fuse one's will into the sword, to fuse one's body into the sword. To exterminate all emotions until one even thinks of oneself as a sword. The Green Devil continent actually has such an extreme cultivator. Black Tortoise was very knowledgeable and gasped. The sword shadow was very fast and closed in instantly, but Wang Lin had flown out ahead of time. He took White Tiger and company and charged into the small hole in the first layer of fog. He didn't pause as he went through the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th layers. Behind him, the sword shadow cut into the restriction, making thunderous rumbles echo. The first 3 layers of fog immediately collapsed. The sword energy contained a powerful will entered the 4th layer. The 4 layers of fog immediately collapsed as well. One sword strike to break 4 layers of restrictions. Even Wang Lin couldn't help but gasp at the power of this sword strike. He was inside the 5th layer of fog and could clearly feel the fog tremble. An overbearing power unique to sword intent cultivators rumbled in Wang Lin's mind. Wang Lin took a deep breath. This will was merely the aftershock, but Wang Lin clearly felt how tyrannical it was. No matter what cultivation level this person is at, he must be someone famous in the Green Devil continent. Wang Lin's eyes lit up as he pulled White Tiger and company, who were shocked by the sword strike. His eyes were covered in bloodline as he charged at the 6th layer. The fog in the 6th layer was very dense and there was no gap at all. However, as Wang Lin charged forward, his hands formed seal and restrictions made of bloodlines appeared before him to form a wire mesh. Soon, it collided with the fog of the 6th layer. With a thunderous bang, Wang Lin took White Tiger and company to forcibly break open the 6th layer. This humble void cloud came from far away. Why is fellow Daoist in such a hurry to leave? A low voice echoed across the surface of the sea. The sword shadow that penetrated the first 4 layers turned into a cultivator in blue. This cultivator looked like a young man. He was wearing plain clothes without the slightest embellishment. His long hair was draped over his shoulders and gave him an elegant look. He was very beautiful but was very cold, and he had a 7-foot sword in his hand. In this dark sky, there seemed to be a chill flowing through, and the sword gave off a cold glint. What came was not Void Cloud's original body but an avatar formed by his sword intent. Although it was an avatar, it contained 60% of his sword intent. As he spoke, he looked up and stepped toward the 5th layer. He raised his right hand and the sword in his hand swept across the sky. With this sweep, a crescent moon sword energy flew into the sky. The fifth layer of fog suddenly collapsed. This allowed Void Cloud to see the white-haired Wang Lin, who looked coldly back at him. Their gazes met at this moment, and Wang Lin's mind rumbled. He carried White Tiger and company into the sixth layer and charged toward the seventh layer. His face was pale and his expression was serious. As for Void Cloud, his mind also rumbled as he looked at the sky with a strange gaze. I thought that apart from those old fellows, only Unifeng could arouse my interest in the Heavenly Bull continent. I didn't expect to meet another today. The coldness in his eyes? He is also a ruthless person, Void Cloud smiled as he held the sword and stepped into the sky. Wang Lin charged into the sixth layer. Only the seventh layer was left before he could leave the Pill Sea with White Tiger and company. However, Wang Lin didn't have time to choose. The seventh layer was the most dense, and he couldn't find gap in a short period of time. In addition, with the cultivator named Void Cloud below him, he didn't have much time. Wang Lin's eyes flashed as he flew through the sixth layer. The sword energy seemed like it was going to break through when the bloodlines appeared in his eyes and the two bloodshot eyes appeared behind him. Restriction essence, use the essence to enter the restriction. As Wang Lin roared, the two giant eyes behind him suddenly collapsed. The countless bloodlines inside flew out around Wang Lin to form a meteor that smashed toward the seventh layer. The moment Wang Lin charged out, the sixth layer of fog below him collapsed. The sword energy charged out, and the powerful sword intent felt like it could destroy everything. Fellow cultivator, stay. Void Cloud's voice echoed as the sword shadow broke the sixth layer. It quickly reformed into a heaven-splitting sword shadow and flew toward Wang Lin. If Wang Lin was stopped by the sword energy, he wouldn't be able to leave the seventh floor. Although it was a moment of crisis, Wang Lin had faced these numerous enemies. The more dangerous it was, the more calm he would become. The moment the sword energy closed in, he turned around and raised his right hand. His essence true body appeared and his palm pointed at the sky. The fog in the seventh layer rumbled and a giant palm appeared. War Spirit print. It wasn't just one. Wang Lin's fire essence true body also raised its hand. Inside the fog Alma the burning palm print appeared. The two prints smashed down on the sword energy one after the other. At the same time, below Wang Lin and Void Cloud, in the sea that was split in half, the divine sense Wang Lin had left in the sea felt Wang Lin's command. The sea surged and a giant palm print made of sea water suddenly rose up. When the palm print appeared, the sea level decreased greatly, as if the water had been condensed by the palm print to fly into the sky. 3 palm prints, 2 above and 1 below, all flew toward Void Cloud and that ray of sword energy. Wang Lin's own palm print closed in first and collided with the sword energy. Burst of crackling sounds echoed as the palm print collapsed. At the same time, the palm print from the fire essence true body descended. Just at this moment, the water essence palm formed by the sea water flew into the sky toward Void Cloud and his sword energy. This was a fusion of water and fire, a combined attack of the fire and water palms. As the fire and water palm prints closed in, the water gave off fog as if it was going to dry up. At the same time, the fire palm print looked like it was going to extinguish from being covered in water vapor. However, both the fire and water essences came from Wang Lin's body, so not only did they not disappear, but they grew even stronger. Not even Wang Lin had expected that using both the water and fire essences at the same time would have such an effect. The palm formed by the sea water began to boil, and large amounts of water vapor spread out. It made the fire palm print look hazy, but the fire seemed even more intense. At this moment, even Void Cloud's expression became serious. He swung his sword and the fire palm print collided with the sword energy. At the same time, the water palm print closed in from below. A violent rumble echoed as the water and fire palm prints collided, with Void Cloud and his sword energy at the center. The water and fire essences fused and formed a force stronger than just a single essence. This force was gas. Gas was an extremely difficult essence to obtain. More accurately, it was impossible to obtain. A person would have to master both water and fire essences and combine them to form the gas essence. This essence was far more precious than a single essence. The moment the gas essence appeared, the water and fire palms immediately collapsed, but Void Cloud sword energy collapsed for the first time. A powerful shockwave spread out in all directions. Wang Lin retreated and borrowed the force to move toward the 7th layer with White Tiger and company. Void Cloud's body trembled and he retreated several steps as the water and fire palm collapsed. A roar rang out and the Yi Sai puppet was released by Wang Lin. It charged at Void Cloud. Yi Sai had appeared too suddenly, as if it had been waiting for this moment. It was very fast and instantly closed in. Its black hand reached toward Void Cloud. The timing was very good, and its killing intent closed in. Void Cloud's expression changed and he bit the tip of his tongue to spit out blood. That blood instantly turned into a blood-colored ray of sword energy that sliced down on Yi Sai. All of this happened too fast. In a flash, the sword energy landed on Yi Sai and cut off its right arm. Yi Sai let out a cry and suddenly retreated. However, the right arm that was cut off turned into 5 strands of black gas and rushed into Void Cloud's body. Void Cloud let out a muffled groan and blood flowed out from the corner of his mouth. Those 5 strands of black gas contained powerful killing intent and began causing destruction inside his body. They were very difficult to remove, because they also contained ancient Tao power. Fellow cultivator Void Cloud, there is no need to send me off anymore. We will meet in the future. In the sky, Wang Lin's voice echoed. Void Cloud looked up to see the Yi Sai puppet that had lost its right arm turn into black fog. It was then collected by Wang Lin. Then Wang Lin carried White Tiger and company into the 7th layer and disappeared without a trace. Only after Wang Lin had been gone for a while did Void Cloud smile, except his smile was extremely gloomy. Entering the Heavenly Bull continent should be very interesting. Next time, I won't let you escape. For a powerful cultivator like you, you should become my sword furnace. Void Cloud's eyes lit up and he stepped away. His face was slightly pale. He had been injured in that battle. However, now was not the time to heal, as he still had to complete the order from those old ancestors to refine the pill C back into that half-celestial pill. Right now in the pill C, not a single Heavenly Bull continent remained. All of them were dead. The entire Pill Sea had become the domain of the Green Devil continent. Outside the Pill Sea, over the Heavenly Bull continent, Wang Lin flew out tens of thousands of kilometers. Blood was flowing out from the corner of his mouth as he turned around and looked at the restriction around the Pill Sea with a vicious gaze. White Tiger, the 3 of you leave. I still have other matters to attend to, so I won't leave with you. This place is far from the Great Soul sect but close to the Gui Yi sect. If you guys want to report it to them, then you need to hurry. As for the Great Soul sect, I'll notify them. Wang Lin looked at the Pill Sea and his eyes revealed a cold gaze. He waved his right hand and a jade appeared in his hand. This was a message jade from the Great Soul sect. After leaving the message, Wang Lin waved his hand and the jade quickly disappeared. Due to the structure of message jades, they were several times faster than cultivators, but Wang Lin didn't know exactly when the Great Soul sect would receive it. After seeing the message jade, White Tiger and company recognized that it was something the Great Soul sect used internally. They looked at Wang Lin as if they wanted to speak, but they stopped themselves. Wang Lin withdrew his gaze from the Pill Sea. He noticed their expressions and slowly said, I have joined the Great Soul sect and became an elder. Take care. White Tiger and company clasped their hands. They didn't say their thanks, but whether it was this matter or what happened in the cave world, they remembered it in their hearts. You guys also take care. Wang Lin revealed a sincere smile. He clasped his hands at them and took a look at the vermilion bird. The vermilion bird let out a sigh as if he wanted to say something, but in the end, he didn't say anything. The 3 of them quickly flew toward the Gui Yi sect. After the 3 of them disappeared from the horizon, Wang Lin turned around toward the Pill Sea and killing intent appeared in his eyes. Since arriving the immortal astral continent, I have never suffered such a big loss. Void Cloud, if I don't take advantage of the fact that you're injured to kill you, I won't be able to bear it. Yi Sai's screams were still echoing in Wang Lin's heart, and his heart was aching. That void cloud's cultivation was very strange. His cultivation level was not high, aside from the shocking sword energy. Wang Lin had already wiped out Yang Lu's divine sense from the 2 treasures he had won from her. The good with the 30 million Dao souls could release an extremely powerful attack, even if there was only one chance. Now that he had made up his mind, he charged toward the Pill Sea. His behavior seemed reckless, but he was confident that Void Cloud wouldn't expect him to return after spending so much effort to leave. This was what made Wang Lin so determined. If I want to kill Void Cloud, I must obtain the compass that controls the formation. This was the first person Wang Lin wanted to kill since he arrived at the Immortal Astral Continent. This video will end here.